Welcome into Covington, Virginia for the 18th game of your Lumberjacks season. Here at Casey Field, we'll take on the Charlottesville Tom Sox. We'll have action live for you in just a moment before we'll go over starting lineups for both the Tom Sox and the Lumberjacks. We'll start with the lineup for the team hitting first, the away visitors from Charlottesville. Their leadoff man is shortstop Will Yao. We'll talk about him plenty tonight. An MLB draft prospect who took his name out of the draft, playing his college ball at UVA. Combs, batting sixth, a third baseman from UVA. It's Aiden Harris. Batting seventh from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, left fielder Lucas Reen. Batting eighth, catching from Kennesaw State, it's Sam Summerlin. And rounding out the lineup for the Tom Sox in center field from UVA, it's Bryce Neely. So let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll talk about the starting pitcher for your Lumberjacks. And we'll have the first pitch here on Covington YouTube. National Anthem's over, which means we are moments away from first pitch here at Casey Field. Jacob Smith is a starter tonight for your Lumberjacks. Jacob from Delray Beach, Florida, pitches his college ball at Lynn University. Before that, he pitched at Pacific University. He's played some VBL baseball, pitching for the Percival Cannons a few years ago. Jacob, very tall guy, standing out there at 6'4". Last time out against Culpeper, very good start. He went 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, and 4 strikeouts. This is an interesting matchup for a few reasons. Of course, Charlottesville, they weren't too hot to start the season off. In fact, they didn't earn their first win until June 7th. But who did that win come against? They came against the Covington Lumberjacks. That was in Charlottesville. Since then, they've been rolling. They have won one in a row. They lost 2 games ago against Waynesboro, but before that, they had won 3 straight. So 4 of the last 5 for Charlottesville, who has their record up to 7-10, holding on firmly now to the 5th spot in the South. And importantly, only 1 game behind Harrisonburg and Culpeper for the 4th seed in a playoff spot for the VBL postseason. Long way to go for this Covington team, who sits at 4-13. It was a promising last weekend. 2 wins at home, followed by a devastating defeat against Harrisonburg. And I guess that devastating defeat kind of pulled down the morale of the squad overall as they came out on Sunday against Strasburg and got blown out 18-8. This is an interesting game for a lot of different reasons, a lot of different storylines. And, of course, Charlottesville always pulls in the storylines with the prowess of players that they attract. Will Yao, another guy who looks to put his name in the rafters with some of the other Charlottesville greats. Yao leads off today. Jacob Smith from the windup, his first pitch. Yao's going to show bunt. He's going to get it down. It's going to go foul. Kind of deadened on the dirt right there. Yao hoping that one would push out into the infield grass. Instead, it spiraled back. First pitch strike from Jacob Smith to the officially graduated high schooler Will Yao. Yao playing his college ball at UVA for this upcoming season, but Yao's going to be known coming in to the season in Charlottesville. Smith's 0-1 pitch. Slider that Yao pulls foul towards the Charlottesville coach's box. That's where Randy Tomlin fields it. It's an 0-2 count. Of course, Charlottesville has seen multiple MLB players, MLB All-Stars, Trey Savage. Wyatt Langford, Vinny Pascantino with Smith's 0-2 as a swing and a miss. Jacob Smith strikes out the draft prospect and Will Yao. And then the Lumberjacks have a 3-pitch out to start off the ball game. Jacob Smith told me a couple of names he once shouted out before this ball game. Of course, his mother, Miss Smith, Stock, and then his girlfriend, Ty. Let's hope that Smith can keep the momentum. First batter strikeout. Now he gets Xavier McCory. McCory from Liberty University. Lefty-righty matchup. The 0 from Smith is low. At the moment, the radar gun in center field isn't showing, so not going to have the pitch velocities for you here. Going to have to trust my eye up from an elevated view. I got glasses, but I'm not the most blind person ever. As Smith's 1-0 is grounded back behind the plate. Foul. There's the radar gun. 87 in there from Smith. You'd expect velocity from someone as built as Smith, 6'4", around 215. Jacob is a very fun guy. Always conversational. Great pool player as well. Ready from the windup. The 1-1 to McCory as McCory shows bunt and he misses it. He definitely went. Home plate umpire says, yes, you did, and it's another 2-strike count for Smith. Momentum's been very back and forth this season for Covington, but unfortunately, the Lumberjacks have been on the back end of momentum in many of these ball games. If Smith could get a 1-2-3 inning or at least 2 outs to start this ball game, it'd be a total 180 from what we saw last game against Strasburg. His 1-2 to McCory is lined into left field, a single for the 2-man in the Tom Sox lineup. It's going to be picked up by Luis Acosta out there. And that's a good time to talk about the fielding for your Lumberjacks. In left field, it's Luis Acosta. In center, it's Darius Brown. Brown's been perfect on the season. And right, it's Zach Dorlag. For the infield, third base is Mason Reed. Middle infield's Brian Zayas and Frankie Clark. And then at first base, Thomas Fratto. Fratto hasn't made a mistake over there yet, but probably the best defensive player on this team, Cross Yarborough. Only 7 runners have stolen against him. He's thrown out 6. Smith is swinging a miss from Grayson McCullum in an 0-1 count to the 3-man in the Tom Sox lineup. Xavier McCory on the season has ran a good bit for this Tom Sox squad. 8 stolen bases, 3 times caught stealing. Let's see if he tries to put himself in scoring position with 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Smith's 0-1, trying to catch the outer edge, misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's funny, I saw Smith this morning and kind of glanced at me, and I glanced away. I don't like talking to starters on their bump day. I feel like it's bad mojo. And he was like, man, you're talking to me right now. So had a bit of fun with that as Smith's 1-1 to Grayson McCollum is upstairs. McCollum, Georgia all the way through from Peachtree Corners. Plays his college ball at Kennesaw State. It's a USA squad there in the Fighting Owls. Smith's 2-1 to McCollum. Swing and a miss. He has that off-speed really working right now. Saw Will Yao unable to get a good read on it. Call him out in front there, and it's 2-2 to to the Tom Sox DH. Smith coming into this ball game at 5 walks and 5 strikeouts. He's looking to up that total as runner at first takes off of McCory. Throw down from Yarborough is nearly in time. That would have been an incredible caught stealing if Cross could have picked that ball out of the dirt and still managed to throw out Xavier McCory, but instead it's McCory's 9th stolen base on the season. Tom Sox don't steal a whole lot, only their 47th as a team. Full count to Grayson McCollum. McCollum looking to potentially score McCory at second base. Smith's full count pitch is a swing and a miss. Off speed, hits that outer edge, and Jacob Smith has 2 strikeouts here in the first inning. You mentioned a 180 if Smith could get out of this inning clean. Last start for your Lumberjacks. Andy Hernandez could only go 1 2/3, giving up 9 runs. If we could see a clean first inning, I'm sure that would be a promising sign, especially for the Bats, who had a great game, but when you're trailing by around 14 runs for the majority of the ball game, you're just swinging a swing. Smith's 0-0 to Tommy Lansness is away. Lansness, an interesting career path. He's from Henrico, Virginia. Plays his college ball in the MAC at Ball State. Smith's 1-0 is blocked in front by Yarborough. It's a 2-0 count. That was a fastball in the dirt. You're hoping that Smith can get upstairs with that one. Obviously, can't say it's a trend because we've only been through 4 batters so far this ball game, but both of the righties that Smith has faced, 2 strikeouts. The runner standing at second was a lefty. Let's hope he can get his first lefty out of the ball game. 2-0 to Lansness is again away. Again, Smith came into this ball game with 5 walks and 5 strikeouts. Not a ratio you want to see, and you hope that Smith can avoid the walk here. It's a 3-0 count to Lansness. Smith out of the stretch. The 3-0 pitch is away. 4-pitch walk to Lansness, and runners at first and second for the Tom Sox. They'll bring up Caden Combs. Combs from Gardendale, Alabama. Plays his college ball at Auburn. One of the many to do it in the VBL. Look at the colleges for this Charlottesville team. Lots of them playing at big Power 4 schools. The 0 to Combs as McCory's got to take off for third base. Yarborough's going to throw down to second, and it's dropped by Frankie Clark. Should have been a caught stealing at Tommy Lansness. Good throw from Yarborough. Was in time, but Clark couldn't hold it cleanly. That's a double steal for the Tom Sox, and now runners at second and third. 2 outs in the inning. Seen a couple of times this season where minuscule mistakes come back to bite the Lumberjacks early on in the ballgame. You hope that that's not one. The pitch was a strike to Combs. 0-1 to the big man in the batter's box is strike 2. 89 from Smith there. Combs going to take time. Combs sporting an 861 OPS. Striking out 7 times. Let's hope that Smith makes it 8. From the windup, his pitch is in the dirt away. Good job from Yarborough to keep it in front. Not only does the stolen bases from McCory and Lansness put another runner in scoring position, but the threat of a wild pitch is now in play. You don't want to let McCory score for free. Smith readies for his 1-2. From the belt, takes a look at second base. Here he comes. The 1-2 is away again. If you're just now joining us, it's runners at second and third with 2 outs. Here in the top of the first inning, Caden Combs batting against Jacob Smith. Smith has seen his velocity up to 89, but the off-speeds worked very well against righties. What does he go to here? The 2-2 is going to be grounded to Brian Zayas at short. Plays it at his hip. The throw to first base is in plenty of time. Jacob Smith escapes, allowing 2 runners to reach in the top of the first inning. We head to the bottom of the first, where Frankie Clark, Darius Brown, and Cross Yarborough look to get your Lumberjacks going. Clayton Arma is the man on the mound for the Charlottesville Tom Sox. We'll go through the lineup for your Covington Lumberjacks that'll face Mr. Arma today. Hitting off for the Lumberjacks from Cleveland, Ohio, it's Frankie Clark. Batting second in center field from Maryland Eastern Shore. He was 3 for 4 against the Express. It's Darius Brown. Batting third, the hottest hitter and the highest batting average for the Covington Lumberjacks now. It's Cross Yarborough. Batting fourth, he had a home run in the last game for your Lumberjacks. In right field, it's Zach Dorlag. Batting fifth in left field from Venezuela, it's Luis Acosta. Batting sixth, plays his college ball at Eckerd in Florida, but it's from Reading, Massachusetts. It's the first baseman, Thomas Fratto. Batting seventh, third baseman, Mason Reed. He's from Los Angeles, California. Batting eighth, the DH, Luca Mendez. And rounding out the lineup for your Lumberjacks, guy that got drafted by the Red Sox, it's Brian Zayas. Frankie Clark looking to get things going today for the Lumberjacks. Clark did not play last time out. He did play in the game at Charlottesville. He was 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Frankie's 6 for 30 on the season, but an on-base percentage at .444. Gets Clayton Arma, who has an ERA of 10.97. Arma's first pitch is upstairs. Arma has good strikeout stuff, but it's the 12 walks to his 15 strikeouts that have really been a pain in the side of the Charlottesville pitcher. The 1-0 to Clark, and they're at 86, 1 ball, 1 strike. Clayton stands at 6'4", but he's very lengthy. You can see out there a lot of reach. 1-1 to Clark is lined into left field, and this ball's down. Lucas Ream out there looking to pick this ball up. He'll fire into second base where Frankie Clark slides, and he is safe. Got to pitch up and in and turn on that one. And with the way that the wind is playing today, if Frankie had that ball a little bit more elevated, he might have had one out. Instead, it's a double to get things going for the Lumberjacks. It'll bring up Darius Brown. Darius, I mentioned it, 3 for 4, RBI and a run against Strasburg. From his first pitch to Brown is line of the shortstop, Yao, who is there. Unlucky for Darius Brown in the first out of the ball game for Clayton Arma. Take this moment to look at the defense for the Tom Sox. You mentioned Lucas Ream in left field. In center, it's Bryce Neely. He has 2 assists on the season, so watch out for his arm. And right, it's Tommy Lansness. At third, it's Aiden Harris. At short, the best defender on the Tom Sox team, it's Will Yao. We just saw him make that play. Arma's 0-0 to Cross Yarborough, slider for a strike. At second base, it's Xavier McCory. He has 5 errors on the season. He's looking to pick it up. And at first, it's Caden Combs. Behind the dish, it's Sam Summerlin. Arma's 0-1 to cross Yarborough as a swing and a miss. Big swing and a miss there as that off-speed had Yarborough way out in front. It's 0-2 to Cross, who's been killing it for the Lumberjacks. Although it's not the big swings like Clark just had that's got to be the focal point today for Covington. It's got to be getting on and stealing. Covington leads the league in stolen bases at 71, and Summerlin's a catcher who has 5 errors and has not thrown out a runner. As Yarborough's going to hit this one off the end of his bat, it's going to go down the first baseline foul. Yarborough bidding for a fluky infield single. Instead, he'll continue to battle with no balls, 2 strikes. Summerlin, I had mentioned, the no runners caught stealing. He's allowed 20 to steal. Prime opportunity for this Lumberjack squad. We've seen the slug pick up a little bit in the recent games, but overall the identity is when the Lumberjacks are going, it's because they're on base and they're running. Frankie Clark is at second. You don't think he'll steal third early on, but maybe he gets a good read on Army. He already has 6 stolen bases. 0-2 to Cross is hit up the middle. Second baseman McCory. No, it's Yao across the bag. His throw to first is in time. I had mentioned how good of a defender Will Yao is. Great range there on the soft hit ground ball up the middle. But I don't think it's the range there that's shown off. I think it's the leadership that a shortstop needs to have. If McCory plays that ball, it's going to be a difficult play throwing across his body. Instead, Yao, even though he's a little bit behind McCory, takes command. Zach Dorlag going to hit it to Yao. He makes a backhand play. The throw to first is too high. Dorlag a single that'll give the Lumberjacks the lead. Frankie Clark had made it to third on that 6-3 ground out by Cross Yarborough. Will Yao had a tough play on that one, and he just missed a little bit upstairs with his throw. Zach Dorlag checks in for his 3rd hit of the season, and this one has an RBI attached to it. Only 1 run was scored the last time these two teams played today. Covington matching that in the 1st inning. Now Luis Acosta batting. He takes the first pitch off speed upstairs. Acosta's had an up and down season, but the story remains the same. If he gets on base, expect him to run. He has 7 stolen bases. There goes Zach Dorlag. Summerlin doesn't even get a throw. Easy stolen base for Zach Dorlag, number 72 on the season for your Lumberjacks. 3rd for Mr. Dorlag. Love to see Dorlag heat up. He's got some big-time pop. In fact, he had a home run last time out against the Express. 2-0 to Acosta. Fouls it back into the netting. 2-1. Luis, like many of the bats in this Covington lineup, the thing that if he could fix, and you'd see great improvement almost immediately, it's the strikeouts, 10 Ks on the season to only 4 walks. Acosta bats with a 2-1 count here. Lines this one into left field. This will get down. Sent around third is Dorlag. The throw from Ream is not in time. The ball, it was in plenty of time, but the ball was dropped by Summerlin. Dorlag did not get down, and that's where the confusion came. You think that you'd see a slide from Zach Dorlag. It doesn't matter. That's one of those, as a coach, you're just sitting there and cringing. As a fan, you're cringing even more. Maybe it's because the send was kind of with ease that maybe Dorlag thought that he was way safe at home. No signal from Fratto in the on-deck circle, and Dorlag was nearly hosed. Luckily for the Lumberjacks, the catcher Summerlin didn't hang on to the baseball. And just like that, it's 2-0 Lumberjacks. Luis Acosta, an RBI single, raises his total to 5 RBIs. Now a big opportunity for Thomas Fratto. You'd love to see the Lumberjacks do what Strasburg did to them at home last time the Lumberjacks were out. And for Fratto as an individual, he'd love to turn his season around. He's managed to reach base at a high clip, 387. But on the season, he's 1 for 20. Check on Acosta at first base. They call him out. Acosta with a look of disbelief, and I can't disagree. It was a good move, and Acosta had to Superman jump back to the bag, but with the way that he's looking at the home plate umpire, or excuse me, not the home plate umpire, the first base umpire, that's a look of no way. Good job by Clayton Arma to get out of the inning without throwing a pitch to Thomas Fratto. He'll lead off in the bottom of the second. Before then, we head to the top of the second. Jacob Smith on the mound for your Lumberjacks. An ideal start for the Lumberjacks as they take a 2-0 lead heading in to the top of the second inning, where Aiden Harris will lead off for the Tom Sox. I'm kind of curious to know the decision-making behind Harris hitting in the 6th spot tonight for the Tom Sox, as he is their best hitter. Coming in with a .435 batting average, he's 10 for 23 on the season. Takes a first pitch slider in for a strike from Jacob Smith. Harris has scored 8 runs this season. He's got 4 RBIs. As Smith's 0-1, way away. Harris from Midlothian, Virginia. Plays his college ball at UVA. Smith's 1-1. Lifted high. Third base side, but out of play foul. Can't tell via the camera angle. Harris is another large baseball player coming in at 6'5", 230. He thought he got a pitch that he could pound out. Lifted out foul. Smith's going to try to take advantage of that. His 1-2 pitch. Catches the outer edge. Strike 3. Third strikeout of the ballgame for Jacob Smith. And a quick first out in the top 2. They bring up Lucas Ream. From Carlisle, Pennsylvania, plays his college ball at Shippensburg. He's had a solid season so far. .268 batting average. He's 11 for 41. Jacob Smith comes with a fastball that's fouled back. Lumberjacks team that has managed to kind of ride the wave of a couple of tough losses as a team. If you're ever around these guys, they're always having fun. Jacob Smith, one of the guys who always has a smile on his face. 1 from Jacob. Swing and a miss, 89 upstairs, and another strikeout opportunity for big 3-6. In the first inning, it was the slider to the outside corner that had the Tom Sox fooled. Now, Smith bringing the velocity. See if he goes back to it here, 0-2. Yarbrough setting up away. The pitch from Smith. In on the hands, it'll be a looping line drive to Zayas, who makes the play for out number 2. Last chance here in the top of the second is Sam Summerlin. Summerlin batting from the left-hand side. So far today, it's been the lefties who've done damage to Smith. Both lefties that he's faced so far have reached. Summerlin, though, not necessarily like the other lefties, as he's 1 for 19 on the season. So to Summerlin, foul to play towards the Tom Sox bullpen. 0-1. Smith looking to continue to dominate this Tom Sox lineup. He's got an 0-1 count to Summerlin with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. From the windup, changeup misses low. Summerlin, one of 2 Kennesaw State players in the lineup today for the Tom Sox. In the 3 spot, it's Grayson McCollum, and then the aforementioned Summerlin. Smith, a deep breath, his 1-1 pitch. Taken at the knees for strike number 2. That one 90 from Jacob Smith. He looks back at the radar. He knew he had good gas on that one. See if he tries to replicate it here. Looking for 4 strikeouts through the first 6 outs of the ball game. It's a changeup that he never really got on top of. That's up in the zone. 2-2. Smith coming again from the windup, the 2-2. Easy take there as that one was up and away again. Smith favoring that slider and at bats to righties, looking to get the changeup going against lefties. A couple of misses here. You imagine it's going to be mano-a-mano with a fastball on a 3-2 count. From the windup, the pitch, way inside. Put too much velocity on that one, and it's a walk for Sam Summerlin. Well, if the trend of righties not having anything going against Smith continues, we could expect Neely to be the last out of the inning as Bryce Neely walks in to the right-handed batter's box with 2 outs and Sam Summerlin at first base. Neely, great slug in his bat. He's got a double, triple, and homer on the season. Looking to get his batting average up. He comes in with a 154. Smith solo, slider in there for strike 1. There's Neely, another UVA guy. Again, from Midlothian, Virginia, just like Aiden Harris. Smith from the stretch. His 0-1 pitch. He's going to miss low and away. Good take there from Neely. Traditionally, Tom Sox not a team that's looking to steal bases. They have 3 in the ball game today. With 2 outs, you wonder if the catcher Summerlin's even considering taking second base. Smith, a long pause is 1-1. Fastball in there for strike 2. He's mixing velocities great right now. Neely could barely get his foot down looking past that fastball. It's 1-2. This team, Charlottesville, has now struck out 163 times. Smith looking to make it 164. The 1-2 in on the hands and pops straight up. First baseman Thomas Frada was there, and that's out number 3 for the Lumberjacks. Jacob Smith pitches around a walk in the top of the second inning. We head to the bottom of the second, where the Lumberjacks look to extend their 2-0 lead. Thomas Frado leads off the bottom of the second inning. Your Lumberjacks already up 2-0. Frado plays his college ball at Eckerd College. He's got a home run on the season, but that's his only hit. Swings at the first pitch from Arma, fouled straight back. Today's NBA draft day, a lot of big sports news going around. Obviously, the World Cup going on, but baseball. This is baseball season, and I think this is where my attention would rather be, as Frado swings at a low, looping 72-mile-per-hour curveball, and it's 0-2. These guys devote all their time to these games, and they enjoy sports on the outside, but as you'd imagine, baseball controls their life as that off-speed misses low and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Arma didn't really show that slow curveball in the first inning, brings it out twice to Thomas Frado. After showing that, you wonder if he goes with the velocity here, see if he can have Frado behind, as there is the fastball 90, but it's way upstairs. Most of these guys, had their day going at around 2:45. That's when early infield work was going on. 2-2 pitch to Frado. He lifts it into left field. It's going to be shallow for Ream, who's coming on and will make the play. For a second, it looked like that ball was going to threaten the left field line, as Ream was kind of jetting that way, but then he kind of circled around it and made a solid play for out number 1. I'm going to bring up Mason Reed. Reed, let's talk about a guy who's dedicated his life to baseball. Reed is in his 4th year of college. He hasn't even graduated college yet, but at the moment, he's exhausted his eligibility. Swings and misses the first pitch from Arma. He's played 4 seasons of college baseball. He's played around 50 games in every single one of them. At first, it was Pitt State, then Ventura College, and most recently at Shawnee State. 0-1 to Reed. Fouled back, and it's 0-2. Sometimes you have teams like Charlottesville that are able to bring in the guys who, the reason they're playing summer ball here is just to get reps, have some fun in a fun city like Charlottesville. The 0-2 to Reed, taken low. But then other times you got guys like what Covington has, to where they're in the transfer portal, or they're trying to play like what Mason Reed's doing. Mason Reed's playing and hoping that he could show off that he could compete against this level of competition to maybe get a Pro Bowl contract somewhere. 1-2 pitch from Arma, swing and a miss. Arma's first strikeout of the ball game, and that'll be 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Bring up Mr. Luca Mendez. Mendez is an analytic nerd's dreams. Kind of, you'd like to see the batting average of Slug get up a little bit. It's only 176, but 500 on base is pretty to look at. First pitch from Arma in there at 91. Mendez, a Miami guy, plays his college ball at Barry University. He's excited about Giannis going to the Heat. The 1 from Arma is an off-speed way up. But yeah, Mendez, 7 walks, 4 hit by pitches, only 2 strikeouts. Does have a double as well on the season. He's going to foul that one back from Arma, who looks for back-to-back Ks to end the bottom of the second inning. Covington's had some games this season where the wheels were hot to start off the ball game, but as it died down, the other bats came alive, hoping that Covington can continue with a 2-0 start. 1-2 to Mendez, in there for strike 3. Clayton Armour strikes out back-to-back batters to end the bottom of the second inning. We go to the top of the third. It's Covington 2, Charlottesville 0. Will Yao bats for a second time today as he leads off the top of the third inning. Tom Sox down 2-0 to your Lumberjacks. Smith looking to get ahead with an off-speed that Yao looks away. First time up, Yao went down swinging on that pitch. Smith showing it to him again. See if he goes with something different. On the 1-0, he does not. It's going to be popped out of play by Yao. Yao, the top 100 draft prospect for this upcoming draft, took his name out of the draft pool to play at UVA. 1-1 pitch from Smith. Going to be grounded to the third baseman Reed. Up with it. He's got to be quick. The throw to first is in time. Bring up Xavier McCory. McCory singled his first AB, stole second, stole third, got straight into third base. You know, these Tom Sox, they flip things around, and really, I don't think there was anybody in the league who had an expectation that they would stay as bad as they were. Smith's 0-0 to McCory is launched into right center field. Giving chase is Dorlag. It'll get down to the gap. Dorlag gets it cleanly on the hop. He's going to throw in to Frankie Clark. It's a double for Xavier McCory. Just like that, we're only 7 outs into the ball game for the Charlottesville lineup, and Xavier McCory is a triple and a home run away from the cycle. Singled his first time up in a double that was launched there. That might have been a wall scraper at any other ballpark. Here with the deep gaps at Casey Field, that ball is going to stay in. Grayson McCollum, who struck out his first time. Smith's 0-0 is grounded foul on the first baseline. McCollum is from Peachtree Corners, Georgia. And funny enough, I actually have a story about that place. This most recent March, traveling and covering the ACC Women's Tournament in Duluth, Georgia, with 3304 Sports Virginia Tech. We made a stop at Peachtree Corners, which is outside of Duluth. And let me tell you, that place is dystopian, but in a good way. As Smith from the stretch is 0-1 with McCory at second base. Takes a couple of looks. McCory's going to go. Yarborough picks it, throws to third, and it's not in time. McCory got his hand under the tag of Mason Reed. It's the third stolen base in the game for Xavier McCory, 11 on the season. Back to that story about Peachtree Corners. So we stopped, we got some food, we go sit outside and eat. And it's, this, shopping center. A lot of restaurants, but you go out back and they have a projector playing The Wizard of Oz, a bunch of kids on the playgrounds out there. It was just a nice Saturday night for a lot of families as McCollum swings and misses at one upstairs. But for what we expected, we expected to go get some food, go eat, and then go back to our hotel in Duluth. Instead, we were treated to what seemed like everybody out evening for Peachtree Corners. The 1-2 to McCollum just misses the away edge. McCollum not straying far from home for his college ball. Again, playing at Kennesaw State. Looks to cut the lead in half. He hits with Xavier McCory at third base. Smith's 2-2 pitch. It's strike three call. Jacob Smith catches the low and away edge for an important out number 2. His fourth strikeout of the ball game. That'll leave the inning up to Tommy Landsness, who walked his first time up. Talked about this a few times so far this ball game. Smith has not been able to get a left-handed batter out. 3 in the lineup for the Tom Sox all have reached base. 0 to Landsness. Fastball taken low. The reason why is to lefties not able to really throw that slider. And the changeup just hasn't been on so far from Smith. Let's see if he can find it here. 1-0 from Smith. There's the changeup. Actually, that might have been a fastball that just tailed away from the bat of Landsness. Whatever it was, Landsness didn't see it well as reached the bat out, extended it to that outer half of the edge, and still couldn't put the bat on it. Smith, the 1-1. Flown into center field, this one straight up in the air. Darius Brown had to take one step back. He'll take a few steps in and make the catch for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the third. Covington 2, Charlottesville nothing. Covington 2, Tom Sox nothing. We head to the bottom of the third inning where Brian Zayas leads it off for your Lumberjacks. Clayton Arma working into his third inning here. He owed his eyes. Zayas going to show bunt. Drop the barrel a little bit. He'll bunt it foul. Good idea for Zayas, who's had a couple of bunt hits on the season. Overall, he's 12 for 39, 308 batting average. Been very impressive because he's primarily been hitting out of this late roll in the 9th spot today. Bryant, your traditional second leadoff guy. Good speed. Hits well for average. Swings and misses. Actually foul tipped that one into the glove of Summerlin for strike number 2. Zayas, incredible bat speed as he swings with a lot of pace with those quick hands. Swings and misses at the 0-2 there from Arma for out number 1 in the bottom of the third. That's the 4th strikeout for Clayton Arma. He'll get a guy who was not interested in letting the catcher catch the ball in that first AB. It's Frankie Clark. Clark, first time up, doubled and came around to score. Oh, from Arma is a fastball inside for strike 1. That was a pitch that Frankie yanked down the left field line and ended up bouncing to the wall. Got to second. Cross Yarborough pushed him over to third. And he ended up scoring on the Zach Dorlag single. That's going to be a flyout for Frankie to the center fielder Bryce Neely for out number 2. Darius Brown gets a chance to hit with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Darius 3 for 4 against Strasburg last time, but 0 for 1 today. Not due to a bad swing. It was a hard hit line out to Will Yao. Seemed that the Lumberjacks bat saw Arma pretty good first time through. Oh, pitch to Darius is a slider that Summerlin can't hang on to for ball 1. Darius, good speed. He's stolen 6 bags, and even with 2 outs, you know this Covington team can be a speed threat. 1-0 is upstairs. Something that Covington has not done today is walked. Through 10 2/3, Arma has walked 12 batters coming into this ball game, and so far Arma's made sure to stay in the zone. That's going to be off the end of the bat to the shortstop Yao. Quickly up with it, and throw to first is in time. A quick 1-2-3 inning. That's 6 straight outs for Arma. We head to the top of the 4th inning where Covington leads 2-0.
One away, Lumberjacks, Frankie Clark. That's the 4th strikeout for Clayton Arma. We head to the top of the 4th inning where Covington leads 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. 2
Both pitchers dialed in as we head to the top of the fourth inning. Jacob Smith cruising at this point. Let's see if he can continue. He gets Caden Combs to lead off the top of the fourth. First pitch ball. Smith has been very efficient to that outer edge against righties. Charlottesville batters have been mistiming on that front foot. This one's going to be lifted into right field. Zach Dorlack coming in and makes the play for out number one. But I think the key thing right now for Smith is that he's throwing strikes. Obviously, not every game you're going to be able to say that throwing strikes is the most efficient thing to do. We've seen some games where other teams have just simply plastered the Lumberjacks pitching, but in games to where the Lumberjacks pitching has been good, they have been around the strike zone the whole night. Smith with 89 right down the middle there for strike number one. It's Aiden Harris. Harris a .548 on-base percentage entering this ball game. He hits and walks. 0-1 for Smith is a slider taken away. Here's one of the many UVA players on this Charlottesville side. 1-1 from Smith is lifted into left center field. Darius Brown coming in on it for out number two. Swinging like that can be very deceiving from a man that's 6'5". Anything in the air from somebody that large, you're thinking maybe this one's got the distance. That one was a routine fly ball for Darius Brown as Harris had gotten that one off the end of the bat. Two quick outs here in the top of the fourth inning. Lucas Ream now up. Ream lined out to Brian Zayas. Not a hard line out. It just kind of plopped into his glove for out number two in the top of the second. Smith hoping that this time he's out number three. 0-0 pitch, misses away. Last time we saw a Covington starter this efficient, it was Hunter DePriest. DePriest went 7 innings of one-hit baseball against Culpeper. 1-0 pitch to Ream is lined up the middle. Frankie Clark diving. Did he catch it? Yes, he did. Frankie Clark, what a play. You hope he's okay as Brian Zaya is there to aid him. That one had his arm twisted at an interesting angle, but the rest of his teammates going to give him some hand claps. An incredible play by Frankie Clark to do it for the top of the fourth. We head to the bottom part. Your Lumberjacks lead 2-0. Cross Yarborough kicking things off in the bottom of the fourth inning for your Lumberjacks. Frankie Clark, a spectacular play to make it a 1-2-3 inning for Jacob Smith in the top half. And Let's see if your Lumberjacks can play off of that. Yarborough grounded out to the shortstop, Will Yao, for the second out in the bottom of the first inning. Set it off speed away. Cross has been killing it, and he was 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run against Strasburg. Before that, 3 for 4 with 3 doubles against Harrisonburg. Armour's 1-0 to Cross is again away. Cross places college ball at Charleston Southern. And he is impressed so far this VBL season. 2-0 to the Jacks catcher. Is again away. Arma has not walked anybody so far this ball game. Surprising stat, seeing as now coming into the game, it was 10 2/3 with 12 walks. That's at least 1 walk per inning. 3-0 to Yarborough. Fouled back. You can tell the guys going by what they do on 3-0. Some guys never allotted the ability to swing 3-0. With the power that Cross has shown, a free swing there. Armas 3-1. Catches the outer edge for strike number 2. Full count to Yarborough. From 3-0 to 3-2, Yarborough will take his time now. Yarborough's loved pulling the baseball. The full count, a swing and a miss. 91 blow by in Yarborough for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Strikeout number 5 for Arma. Talked about the power that Cross Yarborough has. Zach Dorlag's shown that in some recent games. He had a home run against Strasburg. They call him Woody on the team. Sure knows how to pack a punch with that lumber. Oh to Dorlag. Fastball that misses away. That's where Jacob Smith has lived all day long, but he's been a little bit more in, catching that edge every time. Arma just missing out. 1-0 to Dorlag, that one's way away. This game's moving at the moment. As Arma's kind of shown that with how quickly he's going. Taking an extra stride off the mound as he missed badly there, but the 2-0 is fouled out of play. And just watch how quickly Arma's to go here. He's going to receive it, take a couple steps, get the grip, and he's right back on the mound. Right to the windup and gets his pitch, and here he comes again. 2-1 to Dorlag, takes away. And now he'll go even quicker as that's not a foul ball, so here he goes again. Dorlag trying to keep up with this pace. The 3-1 from Arma is way away, so this time the pace working against Arma, who walks his first batter of the ball game. Bring up Luis Acosta. Acosta from Venezuela. Plays his college ball at Arizona Western. First time up, he singled, then got picked off of first base. That ended at the bottom of the first inning that saw the Lumberjacks score 2. Zach Dorlag has now reached in both of his plate appearances. Acosta looking to do the same. Oh, pitch to Acosta, way inside, going to get away from Summerlin. That'll be a wild pitch that will allow Dorlag to take second base. Dorlag stole to get to second his first time through. This time doesn't have to get a good jump, can just go when that ball gets away from Summerlin. One-0 to Acosta. Another RBI opportunity here as he looks at it off speed upstairs. Time up, it was a line drive into left field. Shallow left field that Ream was there to play. His throw to home was in time, but the catcher Summerlin dropped the ball while trying to tag Dorlag. 2-0 count to Acosta. Is lined to the same spot. Dorlag didn't get a perfect read on it, so he'll be stopped at third base, but Acosta now 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Dorlag had to freeze at second base and take a step back as that ball was in the air. That's one of those moments to where you ask your base runners to know where the guys behind them are, although sometimes it's just going to be instinctual to take a step back on a line drive like that. With 1 out, it's runners at the corners, and the catcher Summerlin will take some time to talk to his pitcher Arma. As a team, the Lumberjacks have 6 sac flies and 6 sacrifice hits. You wonder here if you potentially think about moving Acosta to second base with his speed, a stolen base, and then potentially put a play on with Fratto, who hasn't been hitting it too well this season. Acosta didn't get a chance to steal first time he reached as he was picked off before a pitch was thrown to Fratto. They're going to check Acosta there, and it's going to skip away from the glove of Combs. He managed to get his mitt just to the ball and keep it near that first base coach's box. That'll keep Dorlag at third base. Already one check on Acosta. They know he's got speed. 7 stolen bases. Arma. His 0-0 away. And now here's a difficult spot if you're Arma. Obviously, you're being told by your catcher. Mentally, you're telling yourself you got to make sure that that guy with speed at first base stays there, but you also got to pitch to the guy in the batter's box. There goes Acosta. Summerlin going to fake a throw down to third base, and Acosta swipes second base. A stolen base for Acosta, and now Fratto, a prime opportunity to extend the Lumberjacks' lead. Dorlag was already at third, now Acosta at second. A ball put into the outfield potentially scores 2. Arma's 2-0 pitch, a swing and a miss on a big off speed. First time up, Fratto flew one out to left field that was played by Ream. Wasn't hit all that far. This time Fratto looked to put a jolt in the 1, the 2-1. So we're going to miss again. You can see just not able to be patient. He's got to relax and put a ball in play for the Lumberjacks. Infield back for the Tom Sox. Corners are in, but if you poke anything to either short or second, it's a free run. Big 2-2 pitch here for Arma. It misses up and away. Arma did not strike out anybody in his first inning of work. Since then, he's striking out 3 batters. Looking for his 4th K of the ball game. The full count pitch to Fratto up the middle. McCory's there, but it slips off his glove. Throw to first is still in time. It'll be an RBI ground out for Thomas Fratto. Luis Acosta moves to third base. Seemed for a moment that that one was going to get away from McCory and potentially allow Acosta to score. Instead, it's only 1 run, but still, your Lumberjacks lead 3-0, and now Mason Reed bats with 2 outs and a runner at third. Reed struck out his first time up. Looks at an off-speed in the zone for strike 1. Good speed at third and Acosta. Arma has to be wary of a wild pitch here. The 0-1 to Reed is in the dirt. Blocked well by Summerlin. Just mentioned the risk of a wild pitch. Not only is the runner at third thinking about that in the pitcher, but the catcher also has to keep that in his mind. You got to be a brick wall. 1 ball, 1 strike to Reed. Reed has 6 RBIs on the season. 1-1 from Arma is in on the hands and popped up to the shortstop Yao. Doesn't have to move a whole lot. He'll make the play, but not before Covington adds another. Made it to the top of the 5th. Your Lumberjacks lead 3-0. Top of the fifth we go. Tom Sox looking for a few runs. Jacob Smith has been stellar today on the mound. He'll get 8-9-1 for the top of the fifth. Randy Tomlin is the head coach for these Tom Sox. He's probably the most notable head coach currently in the VBL, at least by name recognition. As Smith readies for the 0 to Sam Summerlin. The pitch is grounded back foul. Tomlin is from Lynchburg, Virginia, played his college ball at Liberty. Played at a high school known as Amherst County High School. As Smith readies for the 0-1 to Summerlin. From the windup, fastball misses upstairs. Amherst County is, oddly enough, the hot spot for baseball in Virginia. 1-1 to Sam Summerlin. It's fouled back into the netting. It'll be a 1-2 count. Amherst County is a relatively large high school. It's a 4A school, but it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. I think Randy Tomlin, well, who else, Richard? Well, they produced a gentleman by the name of Dalton Wentz. He was the 2024 Virginia Gatorade Player of the Year. He plays his college ball at Wake Forest, and he has been killing it for the Demon Deacons. Smith's 1-2 pitch. Change up the misses away. Tomlin pitched for a few years with the Pirates. Had a season with an under 3 ERA. Got a NLCS 6-inning ball game under his belt. 2-2 to Summerlin is a swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Smith. Make it 5 on the ball game. But for Tomlin, this isn't his first time that he's played at Casey Field this year. And no, Charlottesville has not visited before this ball game, but before the VBL season kicked off, he was coaching his high school, Liberty Christian Academy, here at Casey Field. A low pitch to Bryce Neely's fouled off. They played against Allegheny, and it was a win for the Bulldogs of Liberty Christian. Tomlin had a VBL game later that day. Tomlin's been coaching them for a long while now, since 2011. 0-1 pitch to Neely. It's a fastball in on the hands, fouled towards Tomlin over there at third base. Tomlin, lengthy career. After he finished up his career with the Pirates, he was a pitching coach at Liberty. Highest he's gotten as a coach was a minor league pitching coach for the Washington Nationals, Harrisonburg Senators. 0-2 to Neely is yanked away by Smith. But Randy Tomlin is a notable name in the VBL and coaches for a notable organization in the Tom Sox. 1-2 pitch to Neely. Is strike 3 called. Back-to-back Ks to kick off the top of the 5th inning. 6 on the day for Mr. Smith. Smith had been poking some fun at me because his last start, which was last Tuesday against Culpeper, that rain delay game, I told him that I was going to shout out all the people that I shouted out today, and I wasn't there. And he was like, dude, what's going on? A pitch to Will Yao is fouled towards the road on the first base side, 0-1. I told him, dude, I promised today. So I'll say it one more time. Mr. Jacob Smith would like to shout out his mom, Miss Smith, Stock, and his girlfriend, Ty. Pitches with an 0-1 count here to Will Yao. From the windup, the 0-1 pitch is an off-speed that misses inside. Smith only went 5 innings against Culpeper. Although the difference is, in that game, I don't know if he was mowing through batters the way he has today. The 1-1 to Yao, off-speed misses upstairs. Coming into this at-bat, 65 pitches. At the moment, little action in the Covington bullpen. Smith from the windup, his 2-1 pitch is a fastball that misses low. Baseball's a tricky sport, though, as well as Smith has done. He already has a 3-0 lead. That doesn't mean much. If you let Yao reach for free, Xavier McCory has 2 hits on the day against Smith. His 3-1 is away. A walk for Will Yao, in danger with Xavier McCory coming to the batter's box. Third walk of the day for Smith, but most notably the first time that a righty has reached base against Jacob. Now Xavier McCory, who first two ABs, a single and a double, and let me tell you, that double that he hit in the bottom of the third inning, it was rocketed into the right center gap. Smith's 0 to McCory. There goes Will Yao as McCory shows bunt. Yarborough's throw down is nowhere close. Will Yao shows off his speed with a stolen base a second. Yao had 5 stolen bases heading into this ball game. And ups to 6 now. And you can see that was a team stolen base as well as McCory showing bunt. He was never going to put one down there, though. That was all to get Yao to second base. 1-0 pitch to McCory as Yao goes again. Picked out of the dirt by Yarbrough. His throw down is not in time. Reed couldn't get the tag applied, and Charlottesville doing what Covington does. They're stealing all over the place. Fortunately for the Lumberjacks, all these stolen bases have come primarily with 2 outs. Smith has, so far today, been able to control when a Charlottesville runner has reached third. Twice they've done it. They haven't scored yet. But another threat from the Tom Sox with 2 outs. The 2-0 pitch from Smith is a strike and at the knees against McCory. McCory, like his head coach Randy Tomlin, plays his college ball at Liberty. He looks at Smith, who readies with a 2-1 pitch. That's lined into center field. Charlottesville's on the board. Sometimes all it takes is one man, and it doesn't need to be a home run. Xavier McCory now 3 for 3 today. But different story here with McCollum. McCollum is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Still not much movement in the Covington bullpen, as it seems that the expectation is for Smith to at least get this out as he picks over to first, trying to let McCory know he's thinking about him. Covington had the day off yesterday, but multiple arms used in the loss against Strasburg. You wonder who the first one out will be. McCory gets a running head start. Yarborough's throw down is again not in time. Cross had entered the ball game throwing out 6 base runners and only allowing 7, throwing out 7 and only allowing 6 to steal. It's been a different story today, although I'm sure if you asked him and the other catchers, these steals, when they're at this high volume, is more to do with the pitcher than it is with the catcher. Air Smith's going to check on McCory at second base. 7 stolen bases so far today for the Tom Sox. I wouldn't be surprised if McCory's thinking about third, as the 1-0 for Smith's going to get away from Yarbrough. Will take it, but not via the stolen base. A wild pitch from Smith. An insurance run in the bottom of the 4th inning, looking a lot brighter, is now Yarbrough going to take time to talk to his pitcher. Charlottesville really has only been able to get base runners with 2 outs for the majority of this ball game, and even when they have gotten those runners, not much action. But a Will Yao walk, and Xavier McCory single. Now Grayson McCollum hitting with McCory at third, and Charlottesville looking to flip the script. 2-0 from Smith, swing and a miss. And that's where Smith has been good this year. When he's been walking batters, it hasn't been great. But 7 innings, only 7 hits gave up. Not much slug in those hits either. Stay around the strike zone and you'll see good things happen from Smith, but he misses low there. 3-1. After McCollum, it's Tommy Lansness, who's 0 for 1 with a walk on the day. 3-1 pitch is up and away. 3 straight runners have reached with 2 outs for the Tom Sox. Mentioned nobody warming in the Covington bullpen. Now Devin Grizel up and throwing, as Coach Rennie Tolentino going to take time to go talk to his man Smith. 75 pitches for Smith, but all of a sudden the base runner is increasing. It was 2 strikeouts of 8 and 9 to begin the top of the 5th inning. Charlottesville doing what they've done early in this ball game, which is find a way to elongate the innings for Smith. And this time, it's going to pay off with runs. The question is, how many? Runners at the corners now for Tommy Lansness. Grayson McCullum at first. Xavier McCory at third. McCullum, 6 stolen bases. With how the Tom Sox have ran today, I wonder if he's going to look to open up first base. Oh, pitch from Smith is lined into left field. 1 step back, and now in is Luis Acosta. Smith escapes a rough top of the 5th inning, only surrendering 1 run. We head to the bottom of the 5th. It's your Lumberjacks 3, Charlottesville 1. You don't know what you're going to get with Clayton Arma. Through 4 innings of work, he's only thrown 57 pitches, but he's also given up 3 runs. And the innings that he's given up runs, they've gone long. In the innings that he has not given up run, they've been 1, 2, 3 innings. Let's hope that your Lumberjacks get that pitch count up here. Oh, pitch to Mendez. Luca Mendez. A swing and a miss. Mendez struck out his first time coming into this ballgame. He only had 2 strikeouts. Arma on the front foot again. The 0-1, an off speed. It misses away. One pitch to Mendez, up and away, and it's 2-1. This is the type of count you like to see Luca Mendez in. 7 walks, 4 hit by pitches. Scored 6 runs on the season for the Lumberjacks. A 2-1 from Arma in the dirt. Luca Mendez sees himself another opportunity to reach base with a free pass. After Mendez, it's Brian Zayas. Zayas showed bunt his first time up, so I imagine they'll be in against him, but even then, the speed for Zayas is a threat. 3-1 pitch to Mendez, low and away, a walk for Luca Mendez to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. As I mentioned, a promising sign. When Arma's been on this ball game, he hasn't allowed a base runner in the innings. A that he has not given a run. In the innings that he has given a run, of course, runners reach base. Luca Mendez reaches first there as Sam Summerlin will take time to go talk to his pitcher, and it seems that the pitching coach will join him. Interesting spot here with nobody out. 5-pitch walk to Mendez has created a meeting on the mound. His action in the Charlottesville bullpen. You'd love to see the Lumberjacks chase a starter out after only 4 innings of work. It's Zayas, and then after that, it's Frankie Clark and Darius Brown. Zayas has been good with the bat in his hand besides when he strikes out. 12 strikeouts on the season. He's managed 12 hits. It's the speed that you got to be looking out for here. Not to mention, he's just a great bunter in general. As he shows there, gets this one down, but it's the second time tonight to where he's just dropped the barrel a little bit. And when sinking on his hands, he tried to push it down the first baseline and just pushed it foul. A strike to Zayas, and now Aiden Harris way in on the third base bag. It's all Zayas. Give Harris a look over his shoulder. He's not going to. Yes, he will. Zayas had a bunt single against Harrisonburg that teammates in the dugouts were saying they didn't even think he was going to bunt because he had showed so early. You usually only show early when you're sacrificing, but Zayas is such a good bunter, it doesn't really matter. Looks like the count might be 1-2 after a strike given for Zayas not looking up. I don't know if he even knows it. 2 balls. Let's see if it is 2 strikes. Oh, they called it on the pitcher. It was just a warning for eyes. Okay. I thought that the home plate umpire had said 2 strikes, but I was incorrect. It's 2-1 to Zayas, who continues to show bunt. As Tommy won't, as he swings and lines one into center field, this one's going to have too much giddy up as Bryce Neely's there for out number 1 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Bring up Frankie Clark. Clark had a phenomenal diving grab to end the top of the 4th inning. And we're glad to see him batting here as he kind of came up awkwardly on that one. Clark, one of the runs today for the Lumberjacks. He doubled to lead off for Covington. Takes a first pitch off speed for a strike. Frankie has really turned his season around. It was only a few days ago to where Frankie was batting under 100. Looks like an off speed there. In fact, in the game against Culpeper, it was an .095 batting average that Frankie has now managed to get above the Mendoza line. 1-1 pitch is lined into left center field. Neely giving chase, ranging to his right. This one will get down. Has trouble with the ball that'll allow Luca Mendez to go first to third. Frankie Clark is into second base with his second double of the ball game. You gotta love baseball. It's one thing if a quarterback goes out there and he throws too many interceptions, you know. I'm sure there are plenty of coaches who'll say that guy's just not going to be given a shot. Baseball, different story. Slumps are a part of the sport. And it's fun, too, because you know that, well, you're going to get out of the slump. And Frankie Clark doing that in exciting fashion in the last few games. That'll do it for Clayton Arma. His day's not done as both Luca Mendez and Frankie Clark stand on base. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll talk about the new arm for the Charlottesville Tom Sox. Asher Sabum to take the mound. Clayton Arma, at the moment, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 4 Ks. If Sabum can keep it where it's at, it would be 3 runs, although prime opportunity for the Lumberjacks as Frankie Clark stands at second, and at third base, it's Luca Mendez. Darius Brown will face the righty from Woodstock, Georgia, out of Chipola College. Asher this season has gone 12 1/3 innings. He's surrendered 12 hits. He's given up 4 earned runs. Something that has not bitten the Tom Sox so far this game is defensive miscues, but as a team, Charlottesville surrendered 21 unearned runs. They'll play with the infield in here as Darius Brown bats for the third time. Brown 0 for 2 with a line out and a ground out. Just hope that Brown can keep that trend up. Just put the ball in play and you'll probably have a run. Takes a first pitch strike from Sabum. Luca Mendez in the DH spot is still in a run here at third base. Not great speed for Mendez. The 0-1 to Brown is looked at for strike 2. 2 perfect pitches for Asher Sabum right out of the bullpen. And with 1 out, Darius Brown now swinging in a 2-strike count. 2 fastballs for Sabum. On 0-2, he goes to the off-speed. It's a slow grounder to Yao. He has trouble with it. I had mentioned the defensive mistakes for the Tom Sox. An error there. The first of the season against the upcoming freshman in Will Yao. It's the 39th error for the Tom Sox. And Cross Yarborough has an opportunity with the bases juiced. Mendez at third, Clark at second, and Darius Brown at first base. The slowest runners at third, which means a hit could score multiple. Yarborough looks at it off speed for strike 1. Yarborough 0 for 2 with the strikeout. Seems that the Tom Sox have figured him out a little bit. They're staying away with slow stuff to the outer edge. Let's see if Cross can sit back on 1. The 0-1 below the zone for strike 2. Swing and a miss. Mentioned it in Darius's at bat. You can't really be worried about making it out here. You just got to be focused on putting the ball in play. Make the defense do something. Middle infield now back is Sabam. No, it's going to be a warning against Sabam. Just got to make eye contact with Yarborough. Count will stay at no balls at 2 strikes. This is big for the Lumberjacks. Jacob Smith stays done. You want to add some insurance for your relievers. This one's thrown to the backstop. Mendez will make his way home. A wild pitch makes it 4-1 for the Lumberjacks. I mean, that right there is a gift. Sabam had seemed perfect even in the Darius Brown at bat that ended in E6. He had hit his spots, and then right there, a fastball that he just threw not only to the other batter's box, but nearly out of the entire batting circle. It's a 1-2 count down. Excuse me, it's a 1-2 count now to Yarborough, and it's yanked there again. I think he's trying to gas up that fastball as he was sitting at around 84 against Brown. That one up to 87, but nowhere close. It was an 0-2 count. Now Yarborough swings even, 2-2. Great speed at third and Clark, and great speed at second and Brown. Infield back in for the Tom Sox. The 2-2 to Yarborough is going to be popped up foul. First base side, giving range is Combs. He makes a sliding grab. Frankie Clark going to tag up. The throw to Somerville is not in time. A sac fly in foul territory for Cross Yarborough, and it's 5-1 Lumberjacks. Combs made an incredible play right next to the Lumberjacks dugout, but it turns into an RBI for Cross Yarborough. And, well, that's one that Cross needs to be saying thank you, Frankie Clark. He's made a couple of fantastic swings, a couple of fantastic defensive plays, and right there it was the slide. Now Zach Dorlag takes a first pitch off speed that gets away from Somerville, not enough to move Brown. Frankie Clark was beaten to the plate by the throw, but he kind of stopped his slide. Somerville reaching out to tag him, didn't get him, and Clark just kind of pressed the middle of center plate with his index finger. That one misses inside to Dorlag. 2-0. So 2 more runs to the line of Clayton Arma, whose day is done. That's 5 runs in total. Dorlag gonna ground one softly to Will Youch short, plays it on the end of his toe and makes a strong throw to first to end the inning. But not before 2 more runs come in for the Lumberjacks. We head to the top of the 6th. Covington 5, Charlottesville 1. Devin Grizzell now in for the Lumberjacks. Jacob Smith's day is done after 5 innings of 6 strikeouts, 1 run baseball. Grizzell, a first pitch strike to Caden Combs. Devin Grizzell has got a very funky windup, a kind of slinging action from the right-handed side. It's his arm right near the waist as Combs fouls that one. Good velocity, too, from that arm slot at 87. And the big question for Grizzell is how long can he go? You'd love to see a few innings from the reliever and Grizzell after Smith goes 5 innings. The 0-2 to Combs. Slider that misses inside. Combs wanted that to hit him. It just didn't extend far enough in. One-two count to Combs. On the day's 0 for 2. Grizzell's 1-2 pitch. Did Combs go? No, he did not. Count stays 2 strikes, but now 2 balls. Grizzell's payoff pitch fouled back. Will stay at 2-2. That off speed just misses away to Combs. It's a full count. Grizzell had it at 0-2. Combs has been patient. The full count pitch is a swing and a miss. Devin Grizzell, a good start to his day. Sure, he wishes that could have gotten the strikeout in a few less pitches, but still a quick strikeout to kick off the top of the 6th. That'll bring up Aiden Harris. Harris 0 for 2. He takes a first pitch fastball away for a strike. And that is where Lumberjacks pitchers have been deadly efficient today, catching that low and away edge. And, well, for the opposing bats, they just haven't been interested in making solid contact on that. That's fouled off the leg of Harris, and it's 0-2. Zell looking to make it back-to-back Ks. His 0-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. Two quick Ks. The last chance to get a base runner here in the top of the 6th inning is Lucas Rain. Last time Caden Combs led off, it was a similar story, 1-2-3 inning in the top of the 4th inning. Grizel looking to do what Jacob Smith did then. That one's going to miss to the backstop. It's 1-0. Take some time to get a new ball for Grizel. Who looks to even up the count here against Ream. The 1-1 is a slow tapper to Reed, who has to pick it up on the hop. Throw to first is in time. A great stretch from Thomas Fratto. A better play by Mason Reed. 1-2-3 inning for Devin Grizel. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Covington 5, Charlottesville 1. Asher Sabum back out for the bottom of the 6th inning. Luis Acosta leads off. Acosta 2 for 2. Sabum's first pitch to Acosta is fouled back out of play. Acosta had been slumping before his last start. He's 1 for 3 with a run into strikeout. 0-1 to Acosta, misses low and away. One pitch to Acosta. Again away, it's 2-1. Acosta, a very chill guy, very nice guy, and the 2-1 to him is fouled off. Call him Louis. Mentioned he's from Venezuela. Plays college ball at Arizona Western. Arizona, pretty far from here. The 2-2 pitch is a swing and a miss. Sabam had him way out in front with that off-speed. Out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. bring up Thomas Fratto. Fratto on the day is 0 for 2. Grounded out to second his first time up. Sabam from the windup. It's going to be grounded first base side. Sabam very methodical through his windup. He looks kind of slow, and then when he comes to the plate, it's got a little bit of extra jolt to it. Fratto at college has seen some pretty good BP pitchers as he swings and misses that changeup, but maybe too good as right now the Charlottesville's pitchers are making it seem pretty tough for Fratto. He's taking an AB against Brad Lord, who's been on a tear for the Washington Nationals this season out of the bullpen. 0-2 to Fratto. He's taken up and away. Brad Lord has gotten the Nationals to 13-0 in games that he's pitched in. He doesn't have a 13-0 record. That would be otherworldly, but still, when he's pitched for the Nationals, they're 13-0. 1-2 pitch to Fratto. Is lined into left field. In on its ream. A sliding grab. No, he won't make the play. It's going to bounce past him. Fratto's going to be held at first base as Ream does a good job to get back on that baseball. But Thomas Fratto checks in. His second hit of the season. First one since a home run very early. Just like that, with one out, Mason Reed hits with Thomas Fratto at first base. Insurance is important, especially in the VBL. Bullpens are a little bit more sporadic. Kind of hard to tell if you can have that perfect plan. You'd love to get as many runs as you can. Sabam's 0 to Reed is in for strike one. Not great speed over there at first and Fratto. Sabam taking his time. The 0-1 to Reed is swinging a miss. Reed's had a tough day at the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. But I mentioned it with Frankie Clark, some sort of part of baseball, and with somebody who's played as many games as Mason Reed, I'm sure it'll take one swing to really get him going. Check on Fratto at first as Sabam now will ready for an 0-2 pitch. Good job by Fratto in that last at bat to go to left field. You wonder if Reed can make that adjustment and take the slow off speed and poke it into right. 0-2 to Reed. He'll look at it off speed low. Reed, one of the many guys in the Valley Baseball League who are having an interesting summer experience. He's a long way from home. California kid. Faces a 1-2 here from Sabam that's yanked away for ball 2. If you're watching us instead of the NBA draft, I'll deliver the news. The Wizards take A.J. DeBonsa and the Jazz take Darren Peterson. It's kind of how a lot of the mocks had it going. Mason Reed swings at a 2-2 pitch. It's grounded to Will Yao, who flipped to second. The throw to first is not picked up by Caden Combs. McCory's throw is a little bit low. That won't be an error, as you can't assume a double play. It'll be a fielder's choice that gets Mason Reed to first. As a team, that would have been the 7th double play for the Lumberjacks. Partially because they haven't had many opportunities to ground into double plays, but also because they've done a good job staying out of them. First pitch to Mendez misses low. It's 1-0. Mendez walked and came around to score in the bottom of the 5th inning. Mentioned it so far today. Every single time that Covington's managed a base runner, they've come around the score that inning. That one in for strike one to Mendez. There's a couple of the guys in this lineup for Covington that you look at him and you think, man, if he can just catch one, it's going to go a long way. We've seen it earlier in the season from Fratto. Mendez is another one of the guys, big lefty first baseman, who has now actually seen a role in the outfield. First base has been occupied by Jake Levesque and Thomas Fratto, so Mendez has gotten his name called on the defensive side in the outfield a few times, as that one's up and away for ball 2. We've seen some large outfielders. Caden Haywood in the game against Strasburg. Haywood, 6'6", playing in the outfield for the Express. 2-1 pitch to Mendez is upstairs, and it's 3-1. This is just what Mendez does. He doesn't have any interest in swinging at anything out of the zone. He did strike out earlier today, but that's his 3rd strikeout to where he has 8 walks now. looking to make it 9. The 3-1 is fouled. Got a bit under that one at 85, and it's a full count, and it'll see Mason Reed up and moving at first. Brian Zayas in the on-deck circle. He had a good swing his last time up, lined out to center field. Hope that the Lumberjacks can keep this inning alive. Asher Sabum readies from the stretch. The pitch misses up and away. Luca Mendez works his second walk of the ball game. We got Brian Zayas. Zayas, in both of his ABs today, has shown bunt early. And with 2 outs, Aiden Harris playing back, having to cover that third base bag. You wonder if this is the best opportunity Zayas will have. Both times he missed towards the first base side. He's going to show here, and he's going to get it down. It'll go foul. Anybody watching wondering why he keeps trying to do this? I've seen a couple of bunts this season from Zayas that have been absolutely picturesque. And he likes doing it, too. I think that's the fun part. You get some guys that, there's kind of this myth in baseball that bunting is something that's frowned upon. Some guys, they really have fun with it. Brian Zayas is one of them. See if he'll try to do it again in the 0-1 count as Harris is up. This time he'll swing and kind of corkscrew one down the first base line. So it's 0-2 again to Zayas. Every count today has seen him swinging with 2 strikes. First time he swung and missed. Last time up he lined out to center field. Talked about Will Yao being a draft prospect. Brian Zayas, once upon a time, was a late-round pick for the Boston Red Sox. Trying to show that talent here. The 0-2 pitch from Sabum. Misses upstairs. No! Called strike 3. Zayas can't believe it. It seemed to miss neck level, but that'll do it for the bottom of the 6th inning. We head to the top of the 7th. Your Lumberjacks lead 5-1. Sam Summerlin leading off against Devin Grizel to lead off the top of the 7th inning. Looks at a first pitch low in the zone. Grizel sat down the Tom Sox 1-2-3 in the top of the 6th inning. 2 strikeouts that inning. This one's going to be grounded to first. Fratto there. He'll take it himself. For out number 1 in the top of the 7th. Be warned, it was 5 straight outs from the 4th to the 5th for Jacob Smith, and then 3 straight runners reached. You get Neely here, you really got to key in and getting Willie out because he has plenty of speed, and Xavier McCory's having a great day. Grizel, first pitch strike to the outer edge of the zone. 1-1 to Neely. Cool story is Cameron Boozer just got drafted 3rd overall by the Grizzlies. That's a gym buddy of Chris Carroll's. Carroll not playing in today's ball game. 0-1 from Grizel is a filthy slider that misses low. 1-1 to Neely. Goes back to that off speed, and this time it'll catch the zone. Neely wanted to go, but it's a little bit too quick. That's 1-2. 1-2 pitch is grounded towards the third baseman Reed. He has to take a step back. He's going to need a big throw, and he will not get it. That'll be an infield single for Bryce Neely. Although that's one attached with a mental error to it. You understand it's never easy, but third baseman there, Reed, maybe needs to risk the error and charge that baseball. Good speed from Neely, and now Will Yao hits. Will 0 for 2 with a walk, but phenomenal speed. Maybe thinking about bunting as that third base bag sees Reed way back. A big jump from Neely at first base. Yarborough's throw just not good enough to get him out at first as he took a big hop off the bag. Mason Reed still way back on the third base side. Plenty of green grass for Yao as now Reed comes in. Yao shows again, but Grizel yanks away again. Almost mental warfare here from Yao, who's showing bunt, and you can see Grizel just trying to miss the barrel. Coach Tomlin will take time. Conversate with the young man, Will Yao. Tomlin, one of those guys who just has association with everything in baseball. It's not just coaching the high level or understanding how the older baseball players function through his major league and minor league experiences, but he's coached at the college level, not just in the Valley Baseball League, and of course now he coaches at the high school level, where he has that comfort to talk to a kid like Will Yao. 2-0, Yao's going to get it down. This is going to be a very tough play for Reed. His throw to first is not in time. It'll be another infield single for the Tom Sox, and I mentioned it. A lot of green grass given up there for the Lumberjacks, and it's first and second now for Charlottesville. With a 4-run lead, that wouldn't be as threatening, but with Xavier McCory coming up, Coach Tolentino is going to make a move to the bullpen. Devin Grizel's day is done. Both runners on base are his. For the Lumberjacks, it's going to be Eli Porter out of the bullpen. When we return, we'll set the scene. Eli Porter has been the best bullpen arm all season for the Lumberjacks. He enters this spot 7 appearances, 8 1/3 with a 2.16 ERA. He has a save on the season. Not a safe spot here, but it's one that will be remembered if Porter can escape. Tying run lurks in the on-deck circle for the Tom Sox, but it's Xavier McCory who's been the man on the day for Charlottesville. McCory a single, double, single today. He bats with speed at both second and first with 1 out in the top of the 7th. Porter's take a couple looks back at second. His first pitch to McCory is a curveball for strike 1. Wouldn't believe it if you looked out there at the mound. That's a man with a lot of facial hair. Looks like a grizzly old man, but Porter, he's the same year as me. That kid's a junior out there. Want to play at Charleston Southern. He's got some familiarity in the colleges, as Cross Yarborough obviously goes there too. The 0-1 to McCory. Fastball lifted up. Mason Reed says he's got it at third base. He makes the catch for out number 2. First time McCory's gotten out today, and I'm sure Coach Tolentino is patting himself on the back for that move. That's why you bring in bullpen guys like Porter in a big spot like this. It's not easy to strand inherited runners, but you sure feel okay when you got a guy like Porter out of the bullpen. Grayson McCollum, the last chance here in the top of the 7th. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. Porter from the stretch. Takes a look back at second base. The pitch. Misses the outer edge, ball 1. Well, just a bit off from Porter, 84. Velocity's a tricky thing for lefties. Sometimes you'll have guys that throw super fast and it's not as efficient. Sometimes you'll have guys who can hit that sweet spot at 84 and it'd be really difficult to hit from that left-handed arm slot. Porter's 1-0. Takes a couple looks back at the bag. Lifted into right field. Giving chase is Zach Dorlag. He's under it. He slips, but he manages to make the catch. Rain came earlier today, and it wanted to have an effect, but Zach Dorlag doesn't let it affect him. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning, where your Lumberjacks lead 5-1. Lumberjacks have a big opportunity here to extend the lead. They lead 5-1 entering the bottom of the 7th inning, where Frankie Clark looks to add a third double to his tally. He's got 2 so far today. Asher Sabam going to throw one that Clark gets down, a bunt that is not going to be a single. Well fielded by Asher Sabam and a 1-pitch out to lead off the bottom of the 7th. Talking about it in the press box before this inning kicked off, sometimes you look at the scoreboard and you think to yourself, man, that score doesn't necessarily read the way you want it to. Up 5-1, but the majority of the runs coming at the beginning of this ball game, and Covington not taking advantage of some moments that could have saw them leading by more. Wonder if an inning here could kind of put that thought to rest. 0-1 to Brown as the off-speed catches his own. Insurance, of course, is never a bad thing, but that one's a swing and a miss from Brown. You'd love to help yourself out even with a 4-run lead. Porter got the last 2 outs of the top of the 7th. You imagine he'll be back out for the 8th, where he'll get 4, 5, and 6. 0-2 to Darius Brown is lined up the middle. Darius Brown checks in with a single. That's great speed at first base. Charlottesville's done a great job at limiting running from the leading team in stolen bases. But with Cross Yarborough coming up to bat, who's 0 for 2 with the sac fly, you'd love to see if Darius Brown can swipe second and maybe even think about swiping third. Sabam readies and checks on Darius Brown first. That's a great pickoff move, and that's something that will definitely play here. Remember, on the season, Samuel Summerlin has not thrown out a runner. His pitchers have done good work, though. Asher Sabam has allowed 7 stolen bases, but he's caught 2 guys, picked off 2. Two pickoffs to Brown, and Yarborough hasn't seen a pitch yet, and I'm going to warning against Sabam. That's not going to be a warning, as that's the 2nd time, so a 1-0 count across Yarborough. Sabam has thrown a couple times. It just hasn't been a home plate. It's been a first. Now after that, you wonder if his focus really diverts to the plate. Low pitch to Yarborough. There goes Darius. Pitch is low. Summerlin's throw is launched into the outfield. Darius Brown didn't get a good read on it, so he thought about going to third. Luckily, he didn't, but that's certainly his stolen base of all time. I want to see that on replay. I'm looking at our footage right here. I want to see what it looks like. And you can't even see the ball. It kind of gets caught in the sky, but that ball was just a moon ball in the center field that Darius Brown didn't have to worry about. So now Cross Yarborough bats and a 2-0 count with an opportunity for an RBI. The 1-0 taken away. Yarborough hasn't walked much this season. Only twice. He's struck out 8 times. He had an opportunity, and his at-bat in the bottom of the 4th, he saw a 3-0 count turn to a strikeout. Darius Brown up and running. Yarborough showed bunt, and Darius Brown's going to take third base. It's a strike to Yarborough, but now any ball to the outfield will score Darius Brown. Wonder if that's going to bring Charlottesville's infield in, and it will. First it was Charlottesville swiping the bags. Now, as expected, it's the Lumberjacks, and Yarborough has an opportunity to score his 2nd RBI of the ball game. Sabam's 3-1. Swing and a miss. That's a very intelligent pitch from Sabam. With an open base at first and second, you don't necessarily need to throw to the guy already in a 3-ball count, so he technically pitches around Yarborough, fetching a swing on a high fastball. Yarborough now has to battle. It's a full count. Sabam from the stretch. The pitch. Line past the second baseman, McCory. Another run for the Lumberjacks as Cross Yarborough has his 2nd of the ball game. Yarborough stays composed with the runner at third base and pokes one past the second baseman, McCory. A 5-run lead now for the Lumberjacks. Only went out in the inning. Now Dorlag has a goal of scoring Yarborough. Keep playing base to base. Low pitch to Dorlag, misses up in the zone. Zach is continuously seeing his averages rising. He didn't play much at Francis Marion, which means this is his first time seeing live pitching in a while. 1-0 to Dorlag is in for a strike. At first base, Yarborough was very jumpy. It's a bomb. Chose the perfect opportunity to pitch as Yarborough jumped back to first. 1-1 to Dorlag, who's 1 for 2 with a walk. Check on Yarborough, who is back standing. I think that's one to where you'd ask your guy to dive back. Just, we've seen a guy get picked off today, and you don't want to give Charlottesville any sort of momentum. 1-1 to Dorlag. Catches the outer edge for strike 2. If you leave one in Dorlag's wheelhouse, he'll send it a mile. It's a good job right there from Sabam to keep it low and away. And they're going to have Yarborough picked off at first base. He was leaning. He's going to try to beat the throw from the first baseman, Combs. He will not do that. It's another runner picked off for the Lumberjacks. Just like that, 2 outs with nobody on and a 1-2 count for Dorlag.